Hello weirdos, welcome back to my channel. My name is EmmaAbe and today we are doing book related things. We're not talking about books, we're talking about coding. As you can probably see from the picture of my doggo that you can see, I'm not at all salty with her. She's right here, right next to me. She might or might not have vomited on me today, and that didn't make me salty. Just kidding. I will always love you, baby. You can vomit on me as many times as you want. Anyway, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing more of our TBR generating. Woo! I have so much fun with this. So last video we did the functionality where we could add a book to the TBR, and this week we are going to be focusing on removing a book from our TBRs. Let's get started. Here we are in our TBR main file. We are going to do it very similarly to how we did it before. Here is our case 2. This is going to be our case where we want to remove a book from our TBR. You can see that from here. First of all, we want to ask the user what book do they want to remove from the TBR, and then we want to save whatever their answer is to a string. So let's do the system.out_print statement and the string statement. So for simplicity's sake, we are just going to ask for the title. So let's add another print statement that clarifies that. All right, now that we have our print statements, let's actually get the answer that the user chooses. All right, so what this does is this is going to get whatever the user enters, and then it will save it to a string called title. So the first thing, now what we're going to do is we're going to want to search through the TBR array list, and we're going to see if title matches any of the titles in the list. And if it does, we're going to double check and make sure that this is what they want to print. And if it doesn't, we're going to say that this title does not exist in the TBR. So let's do that. So first steps first, we are going to use a for loop to go through the entire TBR array list. Let's get that set up. So what I like to do with for loops, especially when we're dealing with array list, is I like to start at the end of the array list and go to the beginning, because this may make sure that when we're removing things, we are going to look at all of the elements because of weird quirks that the array list has. All right, so now we're going through the array list from the back to the end. So now we're going to check to see if the title matches the title that the user has entered. All right, so why is it yelling at me? It doesn't recognize the method getTitle. So now what we're going to do is we are going to open up the book class and see what we named this function. As we can see, I did not name it getTitle. I named it getName. So we need to go back to TBR main, and we can see the getName function right here. And we need to go back to TBR main, and we need to change getTitle to getName, and the error goes away. So one thing that I'm going to do that I didn't think of until just now is I think I want to add a Boolean that tells us if we found a title or not. So now inside the if statement, we are going to set the is found to true, and it says font, so I'm going to change it to found. So that means we did find something, and I'm also going to create an integer value that saves value of I, so we can look at I outside the for loop. I'm going to call it index. I'm going to set it to -1 at the beginning because it doesn't equal anything. Great. So now what we want to do is we want to check to see if found is true or not, because if it is found, then what we want to do is we want to ask the user if this is what they want to remove or not. Now we need to say the user's input, what the user says. So we need to say whether they said yes or no. All right, so let's continue. We again need to have another if statement. So this is checking to see if the title is the book that we want to remove. So if it is, then we are just going to simply call tbr.remove, and we're going to give it the index that we saved all the way at the beginning. Index. One thing, we have to set index equal to I here. That's how it will work. We won't have any issues if we do that. So what happens if we don't want to continue? Then we basically want to start the whole process over again. So we are going to create another Boolean, just like we did with valid. We're going to create it up at the beginning, and we are going to call it, what do we want to call it? Let's just call it val, and we are going to set it equal to true. Oh my goodness. So we are going to say while val is true, then we are going to be doing all of this stuff inside of here. So now let's do all the tabs. Make sure everything is tabbed correctly. Great, so val is true, it's going to stay true. We want this to be true because we want it to continue going while it's true, and we are going to say val false here because it worked. This is going to print out the book that we just removed. So in order to make this easier, because remove returns the thing that we just deleted, I am going to set a new book object. I'm going to call it remove, and we are going to use the print statement. Just going to verify that that's a function, toString. Yep, that's a function, toString right there. And we need parentheses because it is a function. And then we're also going to say was removed from the TBR. Great, so now if we didn't find it, all we want to do in this, we want an else statement. So we did not find it. We are going to say just simply that the book is not in the TBR. Great, and then we are also going to set val equal to true here, and we should get everything running as we want it to. So let's try this. Let's compile it first. Now let's run it. So let's try removing. What book do we want to, please enter a title. Let's just call it VE. Oh my gosh, VE is not in the TBR. We are going to remove a book from TBR. Okay, so this is the issue that we run into, is I will never get out of this loop because this has nothing in it. So let's kill this. Solution. Okay, so this is my idea. Originally, I was thinking that why don't we just call the continue function inside here? But I figured all we have to do is set val to false, and then we won't get this infinite looping problem. So let's see if that fixes our problem. Take 2. Let's try to remove a book from our TBR. We're going to remove a book. Okay, doesn't matter because we haven't entered anything in there. Great. So we entered the title DSA, and then we got DSA is not on the TBR. We asked, do we want to continue? What if we say yes? Oops. 1, yes. So let's add a book now to our TBR. Let's say the title is, let's do DSA again. And author, doesn't matter. Great, this is the book you added to your TBR, so it says name of book DSA by D. Do you want to continue? Yes. So let's continue again, and let's remove DSA. So 2. Please enter what book do you want to remove from your TBR. Please enter the title. So the title is DSA. Do you want to remove DSA from your TBR? Question mark. Yes, we do want to. What happens if we say no, we don't want to remove DSA? Great. So what book do you want to remove from your TBR? So we want to run into the same problem where, so let's enter, okay. So let's say we do want to continue. Let's try removing again. Let's remove DSA. Let's say we do want to remove DSA. Great, and so DSA by D was removed from TBR. So do we want to continue? We're going to say no. Oh, we ran into an unexpected issue. I forgot that we were doing this on the contents, the continue function on the contents of integers. So we're going to change that. So continue is now going to be a string, and this is going to fix all of our problems. Not really, but whatever. So we're just going to say next, and then we're going to say, we're going to check to see if it equals 1. Then we're just going to copy this. And we're going to say if it equals 2. Awesome, so that fixes that problem. So now we come back here, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking that we don't want this looping system, because I think we want the user to go back to the main menu, or we could add this thing where, so we ask the user here if we want to remove it, yes or no. And we could ask the user in here to see if they want to remove a different book or not. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I like that option the best. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, I can hear my mom talking upstairs about my bone marrow donation procedure that is happening tomorrow. It's low-key embarrassing. Oh my god. All right, let's ask them if they want to continue removing books. Let's just copy this paste and copy and paste this line because I'm lazy as shit. So, and we're also going to have another string, and we're just going to call this X. Let's call it A. And this is going to be menu.next. All right, so now we're just going to copy and paste this right here. If we do want to continue removing stuff, then we want val to be equal to true. But if we don't, we want val to be equal to false. Great, val is now equal to false. Let's compile this. Great, no errors. Now let's run it. Okay, here's the issue. We don't account for if they type in a stupid number. And by stupid, I mean if we have to keep asking them, which is so freaking irritating. We need to check to see if rem equals, oh, right here you want to check to see if rem equals 2. And we need to have another while loop. Oh my gosh, I know, there's so many while loops, but it's okay. So we're actually going to create a Boolean. We're going to call it T. Set is equal to true. So while T, this is why I hate dealing with user inputs. I hate users because they're all stupid and do stupid things. Okay, great. Then we're going to say else. Oh my gosh, this is so much more involved than I thought it was going to be. We're going to set t here to false, t equal to false here again, and then here we're going to set t equal to true. Great. So awesome. Now we need to do the same thing for here. I'm going to create a boolean. We're going to call it t2 because why not? And we're going to set this equal to true. So we're going to say while t2. I'm going to tab everything over. I would use the automated tab system, but it's stupid. And by it's stupid, I mean that it doesn't work correctly with switch statements, and that irritates me. So I'm not going to use it. So instead you get this. Awesome. Yay. So we're going to say t2 equals false. And then here we're going to say t2 equals false. Right, this else statement needs to be an else if. Oh, and we also don't want this rem to equal 1. We want a to equal 1. That was also part of the problem. Great, so now we're going to say else if. Great, and then we need just an else statement, and we need to print out that the user is a fucking dingleberry. So in here we set t2 equal to true, and we are going to have a system.out print statement where we say choose one of the options, bitch, but nicer. Awesome. Now let's try. So many friggin' while loops. I hate users. They're stupid. All right, let's do this. So let's add a book. Let's add a book A. Let's add an author F. Great. So we do want to continue. So 1, let's try to remove it. We want to remove A. Let's not remove A. Do you want to continue removing books? Yes. What book do you want to remove from your TBR? A. Do you want to remove A from your TBR? Yes. Book A was removed. Do you want to continue? No. Boom. It works. So the very last thing I'm going to do is chunk all of that into a function. We're going to put that somewhere else so the code is less icky. Do you see what we did with add a book to a TBR? We have this function here. So I want to do the same thing, except we want to move all of that junko that we created for remove a book from our TBR into another method. So let's write the method header. All right, so let's go up to this giant colossus of a method. And we are going to copy all of the stuff all the way down to when we call continue. All right, there we are. We are going to Control X and Control V. We need to fix up the indentation. Do that real quick. All right, now let's actually call this remove book from TBR in here. Oh, semicolons, they're your best friend. There you go. That's it for this video. I'm gonna go take a nap now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Do all the stuff like liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll guys see you next week. Bye.